A couple of weeks ago, I did a review on the Geely Azkarra Urban Plus. That car absolutely crushed its competition and impressed me so much. Today we're going to try out another car from Geely's lineup, this one being their top-of-the-line car. Here we have the 2021 Geely Azkarra Luxury. Then I'm going to show you around this car and I'm also going to give it a test drive, so stay tuned. Starting from the front of the Azkarra, you have a big and powerful looking hood. It's so long and it's so wide, and this entire front reminds me of the Mercedes-Benz GLC and GLE. Below that, you have your corporate grille of Geely, which is what they call the expanding cosmos. And just below the Geely badge, there is a small camera there. I'll get to that later. Now up front, despite this car not really being a sporty car, you do get some sort of sporty look to it with this chin, coupled with these LED lights, which look amazing. They look like they have diamonds in it. As we move on over to the side of the car, the entire profile of the car is like a bigger Geely Coolray. But this roof line right here reminds me of the Range Rover Evoque or the Range Rover Velar. Really good looking car. You also get this nice line towards the side. 48-volt EMS batch, get to that later. A side mirror that's really big, good for visibility. And another camera over there. Again, more on that later. Then finally, your tires. These are 18-inch rims wrapped in 225 60/18s. And they are GT branded tires. That's GITI. It's a Singaporean-based company, so they make rather good tires. The back of the Azkarra is in line with most of Geely's lineup. In what way, you may ask? It's a very minimalist design. So you get a Geely plate. It's not even just a badge. It's an entire plate that says Geely on it. A nice and tailored little winglet right here. You get the Azkarra badge, four-wheel drive badge, because this is a four-wheel drive versus the lower end trim, which is only a two-wheel drive. Then finally, these exhaust tips right here. Number one, they are legitimate exhaust tips, but what's interesting about them is that they're not round nor square. They are flat. Even the pipes inside, they are also flat. Really cool, first time seeing that in any car. As you open this one up, you have a power tailgate. Although it's not that wide, it's still okay in terms of depth, and you can even fold the seats down 60/40. Open this one up right here, and you have a donut spare tire. You get a couple of tools, and you have a really nice and high quality feeling skid plate right here. To close this, you just press this button and it just closes down like that. It's on the longer side. One really cool trick with the Azkarra is that at the very moment you press the unlock button, it gives you a light show, just like that. Beautiful. To open up the hood of this car is very unlike most cars. Instead, it's more similar to how BMW does it. So instead of just pulling this latch once and then pulling it from the hood itself, you pull it twice. Then finally you can go over to the hood and open it straight up. Once you pull the latch inside the car twice, you can now finally come over to the hood and straight up pull it up. And under the hood, you have this 1.5 liter 3-cylinder engine, which produces 190 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque. This is also mated to a 48-volt EMS and electric motor synergy drive thing, which can produce 13 horsepower and 50 Newton meters of torque from the get-go. Finally, this entire engine is mated to a 7-speed wet clutch dual clutch transmission, which is among one of the better dual clutch transmissions out there. Here inside the Azkarra, first to check the door thud. Sounds pretty much like a Euro car. After all, this is technically kind of like a Volvo. Now, start the car up. It has push button start. Fires right up like that. As you heard or did not hear, there was no starter motor sound. That's because this car is powered with a mild hybrid system, which makes starting it just a little bit smoother. Right, now in here in the interior, it's much more similar to more premium cars such as like Mercedes and BMW, the X5 or maybe the GLE, because the materials inside, they're just top notch. Up top, you get amazing soft and supple leather. Down here where it's like brown, it's also really soft. On the side as well, they're all really soft. Even this armrest right here on both sides are all amazingly soft. Now the steering wheel, it's nice and leather wrapped. It's also rather thick, and it's also adjustable tilt and telescoping, which is like really rare for this price range. Now your instrument cluster, it's digital, but it's still not as nice as the Azkarra Urban Plus trim with a fully digital instrument cluster, a really amazingly crisp 12.3-inch 720p HD screen. It's a touchscreen as well. And what I like about it is that you have this drive mode selection switch, right? The very moment you turn it and you select, let's say, eco mode, it gives you a really nice graphic of the car going all eco. You want to turn it into like sport mode and it gets really sporty too. If you put it into like off-road mode, it gives you this off-roady vibe to it. It's just really well laid out. The designer of this made it quite excellent. Just below that, you get a lot of aircon switches, AC switches, so you get dual climate control for this car. Then this center console, it's definitely going to give the Porsche Cayenne a run for its money. It has the same handles, albeit just a little bit further back. You get the Porsche-inspired buttons by the side too. And speaking of buttons, you have a 360-degree button right there. So the very moment you press that, you get your regular front camera, you get side views by your side mirror, you get your rear views, your reverse camera, the usual stuff. But the very moment you press 3D view, that's where all those cameras outside fit in and come into play. So the Okavango had a really nice 360-degree view camera, but for this one, it takes it up a notch further and it's just so clear. It's definitely like playing Grand Theft Auto with this one. It's so good. You also have multiple views that gives you a front wide view, front side views, rear side views, and also a rear wide view. While this car unfortunately does not come with Apple CarPlay nor Android Auto, you do have a bunch of USB ports down here to connect it to mirror your screen onto this nice wide screen right here. And if you step up to this luxury trim, you even get a place to charge your phone wirelessly. Now, to add to the amazingly luxurious feel of this cabin, you can even change the ambient light colors in this car through the HD screen in the middle. And it's not only here on the dash trim, but it all goes around all 4 door cards. Now, finally, I want to move over to the seats. The seats in this car, they are wrapped in Nappa leather, which is the type of leather you would get in really high-end cars such as the Mercedes-Benz S-Class or the BMW 7 Series, and it really shows. This is not some fake Nappa leather over here. It's the real deal. It's so damn comfortable. The lumbar support in these seats are also relatively good despite not having it being adjustable. You also get good bolsters on either side, and the driver's seat is also power adjustable. Unfortunately, the passenger seat is not though, but we can always forgive the car for that at its price range. Open this one up, you get an area to put cool drinks, and it's really deep too. I can look how deep that goes. Then if you open this one up, you get 2 cup holders and a place to put your key. One very important feature this car has is that with the one touch of a button, you get a full panoramic sunroof that goes all the way back to the people at the second row. Here at the back of the Azkarra, first to check the door thud. Sounds really premium. Now here at the back, the materials from the front, they do continue. So you still get soft touch materials even at the back. That is extremely rare, especially for a car at this price point. Even more expensive cars, the premium European cars, sometimes you don't even get those materials here at the back, but I really love it with this car. Your legroom is great. I'm seated by my driving position. I'm only 5'6" though, but I have lots of space back here. Headroom is also really good despite the panoramic sunroof. As for your toys, you get a couple of it. So you get your own armrest with a nice piano black finish to it. Very premium feeling indeed. You get your own air vents, thank God. Then you also get 2 charging outlets and a place to put your phone. The seats themselves, they are incredibly comfortable. You can even recline them by pulling this lever at the back. So it's just a little bit of recline, but it's nice to have it either way. You also get great thigh support because the seats are very long. If you want to seat 3 people back here, yes, you can definitely do that. The transmission tunnel is incredibly low. The car is rather wide, so yeah, even if it's a longer journey, you can easily do that. So driving the 2021 Geely Azkarra Luxury. Okay, so before I talk about the driving points of this car, I'd like to give a warm shout out to Geely Fairview for lending me this car for the 2nd weekend now. So big thanks to them. If you're interested in buying a Geely, you can head on over and check out their page. I'll put their description down below. Anyway, now driving the Azkarra, the first thing you'll notice about this car is just how nimble it is. Now, you might expect a tall SUV not to handle well nor perform well, but actually it does. Now, this car is powered by that 3-cylinder engine coupled with that hybrid motor, which you might think is not responsive because it is a 3-cylinder engine. However, it's actually surprisingly responsive. It really does not feel like an inline 3 at all. Now, it shares the same engine as the Okavango, exactly the same. However, again, it's just a little bit more responsive than the Okavango. The Okavango, well, being an MPV, I'm sure that Geely really tuned it a little bit more towards comfort instead of performance. However, in this car, it's performance all the way. Not saying that you can't drive this car comfortably. I mean, you can easily just put this car into comfort mode or eco mode, and you can just cruise along. No problem with that. Just like now when we're going QAV, we just want to be a little bit relaxed in here. But the very moment you want to like ride this car and drive it really a bit faster, you put it into like sport mode, and you floor it. It really does push you back to your seat. The brakes too, I really love the brakes. It's a Euro style brake. This is Volvo technology after all. So it really has that some sort of air feel, that travel feel before it bites, which means that you can easily modulate it and make sure that you're giving yourself and your passengers a smooth braking experience. Anyway, now that the traffic has kind of cleared up, let's just like change lanes right here. And as you can see, the car really has absolutely no body roll. Now, I've driven the 9YO, the Porsche Cayenne, and sure, that car is a little bit better, but well, it is a Porsche and they really know how to tune their cars really well. And that is probably the closest car I can relate this car to in terms of handling. It's just spot on. It just goes in every direction you want it to go. That four-wheel drive system that this luxury trim has helps it a lot. In terms of refinement, NVH is kept to a bare minimum. If you think that the Geely Okavango is refined, this one is just even more refined. When we talk about NVH, it's noise, vibration, and harshness. Noise, not there. Vibration, not there either, even if there is an inline-3 engine. Again, it's a Volvo engine, and Volvos really know how to make odd-numbered cylinders. I mean, they've been making it for a long time. Then finally, harshness. Okay, so this car competes against a car such as the Honda CR-V or the Toyota RAV4, and yes, I have to admit that compared to those cars, this does ride a little bit more stiffly. But if we go back to the point that this car handles really well, I think that's an amazing trade-off. I just want to reiterate just how refined feeling this car is. Now remember, these seats are Nappa leather seats and they're also power adjustable, plus the fact that their steering wheel is also adjustable. So finding your perfect driving position while being pampered in these amazing seats definitely mean a great back for you. No matter how old you are gonna feel very comfortable with these seats. Now, when I took this to Tagaytay, it was a really long ride. It was like a 3-hour ride, well, back and forth. And usually in most cars, I would really get bad backaches in my lower back. I know I'm 23, but I feel like I have the back of a 70-year-old. However, in this car, it just wasn't there. It's just amazing how they tailored the ergonomics of the seats in this car. Now, if you want a little bit more light in the car, not that you really need to because visibility is amazing all around, plus the fact that you get your 360-degree view camera, so even parking this car is so easy. But if you just want a little bit more visibility, just flick the switch once and your entire panoramic sunroof just opens up and lets in so much light. Now, about the power of this car, again, we're just gonna floor it right now. We are in a rather twisty road, and wow, the dual clutch transmission in this car, it's so responsive. Now, only cars such as like Porsches and Audis can make dual clutch transmissions this good. For some reason, they were able to make it pretty good in this car as well. You also have this auto hold feature just in case you're afraid of rolling because it is a dual clutch, but you can just leave that on, then just step on the accelerator and it'll automatically disengage to make sure that you are perfectly safe. Now, if there's anything that I want to have added in this car that unfortunately isn't there, it would be paddle shifters with a handling system this good, which by the way is tailored and tuned by Lotus, who is also owned by Geely along with Volvo. If you put paddle shifters in this car, it's gonna be such an engaging driving experience. You might even be able to track this car. Fuel economy in the city, and talking about me bringing this car to work in BGC, coming all the way from Quezon City. In other words, heavy rush hour traffic still returned me a respectable 7.2 kilometers per liter. When I took this up to Tagaytay and I was really playing around with it a lot, it returned a combined 11.2 kilometers per liter. Now, when I just took this plainly on the highway and I checked my instantaneous and somehow average fuel economy after resetting it, I received 16 kilometers per liter. To aid with the fuel economy of this car, since it is a mild hybrid and it also has the auto stop start feature, everything can be configured in this screen in the middle. So you just swipe down, then there's a thing here called smart coasting. So when smart coasting is turned on, the car just pretty much coasts as it is, and it'll also develop some regenerative braking to charge your electric motor synergy drive. However, if you wanted to charge a little bit more, you just disengage smart coasting, and the car feels more like a proper hybrid car in which you feel a little bit more regenerative braking. It's not exactly to my liking, so usually I just keep it on so it feels a little bit more like a regular car. However, another thing though that you can do in case you don't want to have that turned on and you want to save fuel, this car has the auto stop start feature, and it's among one of the best auto stop start features in the industry. So when you're just like coasting and you come to a complete stop, the engine will cut off, saving you around 10% of fuel. What about the steering system? Okay, so this uses an electric power steering system, which means that it's easily adjustable. So put this car into like eco or comfort mode, and I can turn it with one pinky. If you're driving this car in town and you don't really have time to go to the gym, this one is still really easy and a breeze to park and to turn around in tight corners. However, if you're on the open road or in the highway and you want a little bit more stability, well, number one, it's going to tighten up by itself even if you're in comfort mode, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you want to drive even more spiritedly, just put the car into sport mode and the entire steering system tightens up a lot. Granted, it's an SUV and you can't expect it to be very direct feeling. However, it is precise. That's the perfect word for that. This thing, as Geely calls it, is your refined ride. And after driving this car for the past 2 weeks or so, I can easily confirm with you that the Geely Azkarra is your refined ride. Overall, if you're looking for a compact crossover / SUV, then look no further, because the Geely Azkarra Luxury is hands down not only the best in its class, but the best even in a couple of classes about it. Again, I have to go back that this car pretty much feels and drives like a Porsche Cayenne. And don't forget the prices of those things. This car can easily compete with a lot of even Euro cars out there, priced only at 1.598 million pesos. If that's still a little bit too much for you, you can always go down one step and you can also get the Geely Azkarra in the premium trim. The only difference between this car and that is, well, that doesn't get the mild hybrid system. It gets a 6-speed automatic transmission instead of a 7-speed wet clutch DCT, and you're not going to get a wireless charging pad as well as Nappa leather seating. But otherwise, these two cars share the same rims, the same technology all over the car. So go ahead and give Geely Fairview a call, and I am sure that they're going to give you a great deal on your next ride.